Joining me now is Doug Herbert, our international affairs commentator. Doug, as Washington wakes up today, Democrats are poised to lay the groundwork for a swift impeachment vote, perhaps by the middle of this week. It all happens to be moving very quickly.
Very quickly, Annette, and really it's gaining momentum day by day, if not hour by hour, really as more video, more images emerge of really the full extent of what happened during the violence and insurrection on the Capitol last Wednesday, including images showing some of those in the mob, the marauding thugs in the mob, that's really the only term for them, dragging a police officer, a Capitol police officer down the steps and then beating him. Images like that are really hardening the resolve, not just of the Democrats who have been pressing for impeachment for a long time, but even a handful of Republicans are crossing the aisle now and indicating that they will vote on whichever articles, whatever really is brought before them on the floor. Look, the Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, and a lot of the Democrats, there is a wariness of moving ahead too quickly on impeachment. Despite Donald Trump's actions, they would prefer, as you mentioned, they would prefer that the Vice President, Mike Pence, initiate the action by invoking the 25th Amendment and doing so with a majority of what's now a dwindling number of cabinet members in the Trump administration. But like you said, Mike Pence there's no indication that he is about to invoke that 25th Amendment to remove or discharge Donald Trump of his powers as president, which does lay really that option of impeachment. If impeachment weren't to happen, some have put forward perhaps the possibility of censure, a lesser action, but one which still would put Donald Trump before some sort of censure for his actions and some sort of retribution and facing of consequences.
Now, if the House votes to impeach Doug, what will happen next?
Yeah, this is where it gets dicey, Annette, because technically the next step is a Senate trial. Now, we know that the Senate trial is where the president would require a 2/3 vote of the senators in order to convict. And that conviction could then be followed by a vote which would require only a majority of members, not 2/3, in order to disqualify Donald Trump from ever holding elected office, public office again, obviously including the presidency. Now, that is a big motive among the Democrats. They would like to see that measure, not just the conviction, but the disqualification. Here's where it gets tricky. It's that there's a sense that they don't want to see the opening days of the Joe Biden presidency, which begins in 9 days from now, consumed by a Senate trial. They say there's an urgent need for Joe Biden to have the Senate confirm his cabinet nominees and to try to start, taking up the business of the administration and making sure that Joe Biden can start implementing his first 100-day agenda, especially on the crises facing America, on the economy and the coronavirus. So the Senate trial, ironically, could be delayed if the House votes to impeach, perhaps by weeks or by months.
And finally, Doug, Joe Biden has kept a rather studious distance from the impeachment issue. What is he thinking?
What he's thinking is he's being very cautious. He's basically taken a very standoffish approach to all of this impeachment debate. You probably know what he's thinking. I mean, he would obviously not object, and he would probably welcome it if the House voted to impeach, but he doesn't want to take that stand too publicly. He has been hard focused, Annette, on his main message, which is that he wants to govern. He doesn't want to be consumed by the political issue of his predecessor's fate. He wants to get off the ground running. He knows that he has massive challenges, perhaps the most heady challenges of any president in modern U.S. history, with the economy plunging and cratering and the coronavirus. So he would like to start rebuilding and governing right away. He doesn't want to be distracted by the impeachment debate, the removal debate. He prefers to leave that to Congress.
Doug Herbert, thank you for that.